Hey everybody, it's Chief Chuck coming to you from a Friday here in Southern Maryland. Every Friday is a good Friday, right? So just a few quick ramblings, not much to talk about this week. A lot of crap happening in the news. I'm not going to go into it because I'm not going to give some of these freaks and evil people the time and the attention they deserve. But what I do want to tell you is something that I've come across lately is being aware of what I let affect me, being more conscious of that, watching what I consume. You guys know I've told you in other videos, I'm kind of in a I'll call it a health crisis. I need to take care of myself a little better than what I'm doing. So part of that is the macros that we track for food consumption. And that's interesting. So you see a lot of this stuff online, and it's about track your macros, and that's a good thing. I do it now. I track with a food tracking app. And I think what we need to do for the same as in here, we need to do the same for up here, and that's track our macros and just see watching what we're consuming. You're not supposed to eat a lot of junk food. Don't want to consume that. Don't want to have your fats, too many carbs. You want good proteins, good carbs. Good fats, stuff like that. So just like what goes in here to go in here, you don't want a lot of junk food. And a lot of the media now, honestly, is junk food. It's a narrative. You know it. I know it. There is no true journalism anymore. I shouldn't say that. There's probably some true journalism out there. If you guys know of it, tell me about it. And so I would be happy to go look at it. But most of the mainstream stuff you're seeing is a narrative pushed by your quote-unquote government that is serving an agenda. And it's not left or right, Democrat, Republican. It doesn't matter. It's all an agenda. They're all the same pigs drinking from the same trough. So if we're going to be watching what we put in here, let's watch what we put in here. And let's consume better things. There's a better narrative out there. There's some positivity. There's good things going on. You guys, we tend to get trapped into the national narrative. Former president gets indicted. Okay. What are you going to do about it? You can rant and rave at the void all you want to. Remember it, and if that's what you choose to go to the polls with in a year or so, okay, have at it. But other than that, what are you going to do? You're not going to do anything. But what you can do is, what are you doing for your local community? I heard a podcast recently from John Rennie, Brian Jodice. He interviewed Brian, and Brian is part of the F3 movement. I'm just now starting to learn about it. It's a community for men to do fitness and fellowship and faith, even though it's not a religious-based organization. Just the belief that there's something higher than all of us. But what they're doing is they're focusing on community and fellowship in the community. And I've said this as well. What are you doing? Most of the people, you can name all the top Facebook, Twitter, Instagram politicians on a national level, but how many of you know who your local councilman, alderman, commissioner, whatever you call it, wherever you're at? How many of you know your local politicians? How many of you know the things that are going on in your local community? And more importantly, what are you doing to try to help it? You know, that's something that we all have to think about and consider. So I think it's worthwhile to take that into an account, into a macro of what you're putting in here. Focus on what you can do. We used to call it, your circle of influence, your sphere of influence, stuff like that in leadership schools. Focus on what you can control. Focus on what you can take care of. Choose to be a positive person, and I'm guilty of this. I get online and I get caught up in the narrative. And the next thing you know, I'm out there spewing shit just like the rest of the people. But I catch myself and ask myself, why am I really doing that? So I think what we do is we take this and we look at it as a holistic view of how we consume everything in here, and around us. So take that with you as a leadership lesson. Watch what you bring in, because that affects what comes out here. Try to stay positive, try to stay focused. These are hard times. Am I going to lie to you and tell you that I think everything's rosy and hunky-dory? No, I'm not. I think the country's in distress. I think we've got a lot of work to do. But it's going to take literally not a grassroots effort of protest, go storm the streets, storm the Capitol. That's not going to work. That's not going to happen. What we can do is each do one thing, and let's make our own communities better. It starts there. And if we just refuse to accept the bullshit, then we don't have to accept the bullshit. So we'll move on past it and we'll go be good people. So appreciate you guys listening in. Appreciate you spreading the word if you could. The email thing is dead because we get too many emails as it is. This is how I'm going to talk to you from now on. So I hope that you'll spread the word, subscribe, hit that thumbs up button that lets the algorithm know that you're watching me, and please pass the word and anything you can do to help. I'm on Twitter at Chuck Whitworth1. You can search Chief Chuck and you can probably find me. Other than that, hope you guys have a great weekend. Hope you get everything you need to get done. Enjoy it. Take some time to reflect and relax. And until I talk to you again, lead forward, semper fortis.